pastime?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the only opportunity, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh. So this is it's around, I think, in probably around 1980. So I'd gone down to South America. After Prabhu left the planet. And I went down to Colombia and I was in the I just came down there recently, and I had met Alana Swami, who was the regional secretary down there. And so I was just living in the temple, and I kept looking at this mountain out in the distance. And I kept, in the back of my mind, I said, boy, I really like that mountain sometime. And so it was a Codicy, and I decided, okay, I'll hike it. And so I took a bag. It was a really hot day. I think I just had a pair of shorts on, or maybe pants or something. I don't think I even wore it. I was wearing a shirt. And so I took off from the temple, and I started climbing up the mountain. There was a trail that went along the face of it, and there was only small shrubs around that area. And I got about halfway up, and I was thirsty. And there was a tree line over like about 100 miles, like maybe, it wasn't even that, for maybe 50 yards away from where the trail is. Like, you can see the forest over there. So I went over there wondering, maybe a little stream or something. And sure enough, right inside, maybe 30, 40 feet or something inside, there was a little brook running down. So I was bending down, drinking water from the brook. All of a sudden I heard some twigs snap behind me. Startled, I wheeled around, and I was greeted by this sight of this, obviously a native guy, like really curly hair. It was all unkempt and long, and young guy, but really some of these natives are really kind of big bodied, big chested, and his eyes completely bloodshot, and like a total crazy look on his face. He was obviously under some kind of intoxication. Medellin is like the second biggest city in Colombia. Maybe it still is, but at that time it was. It was the where a lot of the drugs came from, Colombia. So I'm like, oh my God, like, who is this guy? And then that guy's got a knife in his hand. And he looks at me in Spanish. He says, any of you guys speak Spanish? He says, dame tu dinero, give me your money, dame tu bolsa. He said, give me your bag, I had a watch on. He said, give me tu reloj, o yo te mata, or I'll kill you. And I'm like, whoa. So I started taking, I thought, better to get out of the trees and get back in the clearing. So I started kind of turning around, and facing him, I kept taking one step back and then one step back. And every step he was following me step by step. And then I was thinking, turn around and run. I used to be pretty fast in those days. And you know how thought sometimes, you get a mental picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that thought, and all of a sudden I had this mental picture of me running away and this knife coming down on my back. And I'm like, no, maybe this guy's fascinating. And then I thought, well, I think probably every James Bond movie I ever saw passed through my head. I'm thinking, I'm going to kick the knife out of his hand. Then I saw this mental picture of a knife going through my foot. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. And he kept saying, just repeating himself, give me your bag, give me your money, I'll kill you. And as I was thinking this, all of a sudden, there's a crashing sound in the woods near us, and a second guy jumps from behind some trees, and this guy's got a club. So now there's two of these guys, and then I thought, well, maybe I should just give them what they want. And then I looked really closely at them, and I'm like, no. These guys look like they would kill me just for sport. And then all of a sudden, I remembered our deity we had, because I was part of the Japan party, collection party for collecting built temples in India, and we had, it was kind of an intense party. We were like always running from the cops and stuff, because we had tourist visas. They wouldn't give us missionary visas, because they already knew we were like fundraising illegally on the tourist visa. So we had a Nrsingadev deity, and Guru Kripa had us learn all these prayers to Nrsingadev. So immediately I remember this invocation prayer to Nrsingadev, because I thought, this is it. It's up to Nrsingadev. If he wants to protect my body or whatever. So I put my arms in the air, I closed my eyes like really tight, and I started chanting at the top of my lungs. Shri Nrsinga Jai Nrsinga Jai Jai Nrsinga Om Hrim Ksham Ugram Yiram Mahavishnu Dvelatam Sarvatomukam Nerashingam Vijanam Badrang Mrityur Mrityum Namami Aham Shri Nrsinga Jai. And I kept chanting, and I could hear the guy coming closer and closer, and the same thing. He's like raising his voice also, and then he's like screaming, Kayase, shut up! Give me your wallet, give me your money.
1 mile, turn left onto Marlin Drive.
Give me your bag, or Jyotimadra, or kill you. And so I think I got, as far as my memory goes, I think I got somewhere within the third mantra. And then I could hear him like screaming. I was expecting any second this knife to come down on my face. And all of a sudden, and to this day I have no idea what happened. I can only tell you what my senses told me. So all of a sudden it was as if, well, first of all, like I changed. Like it was almost as if I entered another dimension or something. And every time I chanted Lord Nrsingadeva's name, I had this realization that it's actually Lord Nrsingadeva, and it was so powerful. I felt like it was like going all over the universe. It was like every time I chanted, my whole body would like shake, like and it sounded like it was piercing the universe. It was like so freaking loud. And like I said, it felt like I was in some alternate reality. All of a sudden, there was this huge wind all around me, and because I had my eyes closed, but I had just this sense that everything was blowing around because of this huge wind, and it wasn't a normal wind. It was like a warm, I can't explain it.
Turn right onto Millacres Drive.
And all of a sudden, through my peripheral perception, I don't even know what that means.
In 3/4 of a
like
mile, turn right onto Shafer Avenue.
Corner of my perception, with my eyes still completely closed, I perceived that there was almost like this little tornado or something that I intuited that there was a source of this wind. And all of a sudden, but it was intense light. And all of a sudden, it came closer and closer and closer until the light became like blinding. And all my spiritual senses became enlivened. And I can't tell you that I saw Lord Nrsimhadev with my mundane vision, because I didn't. But I totally perceived him with my spiritual vision. And he was standing right in front of me, like smiling. And I felt so blissful and so I almost lost consciousness. I don't know if I might have been crying tears of ecstasy, I don't know. But I was like felt like it was just about to lose my consciousness. And all of a sudden I realized
in half a mile, turn right onto National Road.
That there's some other reality. And in that state, kind of barely physically conscious, all of a sudden I opened my eyes, and the guy with the knife was standing like this, with a knife about 6 inches from my face. And I have no idea what happened, but as I looked in his eyes, it almost felt as if all of a sudden Lord Nrsimhadev jumped from my heart, through my eyes, through his eyes, into his heart, and started like ripping apart his heart or something. Because the guy was like, his whole body started trembling uncontrollable, like he was having an epileptic fit or anything, or something. And he dropped the hand, dropped the knife, and like I said, his whole body was shaking uncontrollably. He was trying to scream, but no sound would come out.
Turn right.
And finally he was able to scream. He started screaming, begging for mercy, begging for forgiveness. And his eyes opened, his eyelids opened like uncontrollably, like so wide I could see his complete eyeball. I swear to God, it looks like his eyes were going to pop out of his head.
Turn right.
And the guy falls down at his knees and is like begging me like a baby, like please, I didn't mean to hurt you, I was hungry. And then the other guy with the club
go past the club, then at the next one, turn right.
Dropped the club, turned around, and ran as fast as he could back through the woods. And I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? And all of a sudden it's like Super Soul said, check your back pocket. So I'm like, what? Pull out my wallet, my back pocket, open it up. There's an invitation to the Sunday feast. I handed him the card. I had a few pesos there too. I handed him a few pesos. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll walk down the mountain. Because if I was planning to go to the top of the mountain, sit down and read Prabhu's books, but what if these guys change their mind and Lord Nrsimhadev doesn't appear the next time?
That's incredible. That was when?
That was like around 1980. And that's the only time that ever happened. Lord Nrsimhadev's like, yeah, you got some mercy. You think you're going to get it again? Not in this life.
Recently, Shakti Prabhu just told me a pastime where Srila Prabhupada had a dream. Srila Prabhupada's first disciple tells it.
Was it a dream?
Was it a dream?
I don't think it was a dream.
So what was it exactly?
Just tell it as if it wasn't a
Okay.
dream.
So Srila Prabhupada, the disciple says that Krishna came to Srila Prabhupada and gave him a garlanded him. So then Srila Prabhupada went to touch his feet, Krishna's feet, but then Krishna ran away, and so Srila Prabhupada started like laughing or something.
Yeah, he said that Srila Prabhupada was. So he came and saw Srila Prabhupada after he was done with kirtan, and he had a garland on that was too long for just for a person. It was all the way down to his knees. It was a huge garland, and it was very fragrant. And Srila Prabhupada was just like, the disciple said that he was just like very, very, very blissful, and just like, you know. And he said, why were you so blissful? And he said that Srila Prabhupada said that he was doing kirtan just for the deities alone, playing mridanga, and then
Where was this?
it had to be in India. This was Srila Prabhupada's first disciple.